your dojo. Today we're going to be talking about Kansetsu Geri, joint kicking. You may have seen this in certain katas, karunfa, backside die, things like that, where you'll come up and you'll strike lower down. You may think, why are you doing that particular move? You're actually going for joints. I'm just going to get Sensei Polecat in. Yes, Sensei Polecat, if you'd like to come in, please. We want to be kicking the front of the kneecap, so it's got no choice but to snap. Kansetsu Geri means snapping of a joint.
From a straight leg, attacking it from the front, go for the kneecap. Regardless of which side kick, whether you're going to do a side kick, front kick, a back kick, whatever you want, on a straight leg, attack the kneecap from the front. The joint has nowhere to go, it will collapse, it will cause severe damage internally. If you're in a front stance, can you just switch to a Zencut stance for me? Any time that you've got the legs bent, when he's in a situation where the leg's bent, if I were to go under that same kick now on the kneecap, it's going to hurt me more than it hurts him. Because the kneecap bone is going to be exposed. Me kicking in there is not going to collapse his joint. It's just a really, really hard place for me to kick, and I'm going to end up hurting my foot. So if you're joint kicking and you're attacking the knee and you're in a bent stance like this is where you turn the move and you go for the sides. For example, a joint kick on that side will collapse the leg like that, can result in a takedown. Same again from this side. Attacking it again from the side results in a simple takedown.
Yeah.
I'm now going to attack his knees from the side and watch the difference, because I'll not get any joy out of it. So if I come in and get it from the side there, not at all, no risk of a takedown. Not really. I mean, if I kicked him hard enough, obviously it's going to hurt. If you kick anybody hard enough, it's going to hurt, regardless of where you kick them. But I'm not getting the action. I'm not getting the Kansetsu Geri action of joint kicking. I'm not going to break or destroy his joint by kicking into the side of his joints while he's stood up. One more time, if the leg bends, if you just put one of your legs forward, and I take the exact same kick with that leg bent, no difference in the kick, no difference in the amount of effort that I put into that. Just a simple fact of bending the leg there makes it extremely vulnerable from the side, and when the leg is straight, it makes it extremely vulnerable from the front.
Yeah.
Obviously from the back it's vulnerable all the time, you can't get away from that, because that's just a hinging action. If I go in and just take it like that, you can always attack the back of the leg, and regardless of whether the leg's bent, straight, whatever, it's always vulnerable at the back of there, so just be aware you don't want anybody kicking you in the back of there and collapsing your joint, because there's no way of getting out of that one. That is the hinging action of the leg, it will always collapse. But joint kicking, like I said, somebody stood upright to you, straight into the kneecap, you break the knee. It's got nowhere to go, the impact's got nowhere to take it, so straight onto that kneecap and push through if you can, you're going to cause problems. If they're in a stance where they've got any of the legs forward, attack the side. Either side, any side you want, both sides. And obviously, we're just doing a little bit of tapping there before I go into there with some venom. You've seen how it's gone over a couple of times already.
You're using a certain kick, like with the heel or the side of the foot, to force that kick down, bang, you just thrust it down. Now, a kick like the Komi kick, you know what I mean? If you do that, it's not going to do anything. All it's going to do is, it's more to dead a minute, you know what I mean? It's a fast kick, but the thrusting kick is actually stamping down into it and maybe forcing it down and snapping it.
That's another good point, yeah. Obviously there's different types of kicking as well as different areas. If you just snap kicking like he says with the Kikomi kick, if you're just going to snap kick a joint, it's not really going to work. If I were just to go and snap kick it, it'll weaken it, it'll hurt it, it'll get the nerves exposed, but it's not going to collapse the joint. To really collapse the joint, you need to follow through with your kick. You've got to use a thrusting kick action where if you just go into a front stance again, Sensei, and this time I'm going to go nice and steady, no real venom, but just demonstrating the action of, instead of kicking at it, kicking through it. And you see the difference in just kicking through it as opposed to just kicking it and kicking at it. So you've got to use a thrusting kick action when you're joint kicking. And also there's more joints than just the knee. I mean, the knee's the easiest accessible joint. I won't like to be kicking elbow joints, wrist joints, all like that, because we don't really believe in kicking above the belt. We've got arms to grapple with and wrestle with. If we want to do out above the belt, we've got arms to do that with. But up below the belt, perfect for kicking. Now, you can dislocate somebody's hip with a good joint kick, but it's going to be really, really hard to do that. So concentrate on the lower parts, ankles and knees. Now, we haven't really mentioned much about the ankles, but a lot of these kicks that you see in kata, where they're kicking down like that, are aimed at either the knee or the ankle. Now, when it comes to taking down the ankle, an ankle's not choosy. An ankle don't care whether you take it from the front, from the side, from the back. Ankles are weak, they're weak in everybody. You can have the strongest ankles in the world, and just by placing a foot on an ankle there and getting into it like that, you can cause somebody a hell of a lot of pain. So when it comes to joint kicking at the ankles, just go for it. You don't have to think, oh, is his ankle bent? Is his ankle in the right position? None of that. Boom! Get in, thrust kick straight through that ankle, break it. If his ankle goes down, he can't walk.
See, there's a lot of different stances that are good, but they've also got a weakness to them as well. If you've got your ankle turned like that, and Sensei Polecat is actually going to...
really exposed.
If he's going to... Yeah, that's it. That actually did hurt. I know you already tapped it.
Yeah.
But because I'm showing you nerves on that side.
You're presenting the outside of the ankle to
and
me.
it's a good attacking move, but it's a good defensive move if someone's going to try and move you, and it stops somebody kicking his nuts. But if they think, right, I'm just going to slide my foot down his calf or down the side of his shin, and onto the foot and onto the ankle, it's going to go crack.
And that is literally all you need to do as well sometimes with joint kicking. You don't always have to kick at it. You can use their body to run down, to follow the contour. Like for instance, I'm not actually kicking at his leg here, I'm not kicking at his leg, I'm just placing my foot here. But as that comes down onto his ankle there...
yeah, that
just the action of going down and it catches on the joint. Poof,
it's like Sensei Polecat's arm, really, you know what I mean? He didn't hit his wrist or anything like that. Well, he would have hit his wrist at the last point, but he hit in the centre of his arm. And that can cause trouble for his elbow and his wrist. But obviously the weak point will have been his wrist, because it's hit there and snapped all the way down his arm, and then it snapped his wrist.
Yep.
So it's not a fundamental thing to hit on a joint. The Kansetsu Geri is hitting a joint.
It is joint kicking, but you don't have to directly target the joint.
No.
You can, like we just demonstrated there, you can follow the contour of the body down and catch the joint and get just as good an effect. But obviously, I think the most important thing to talk about with Kansetsu Geri is to use the thrust kicking action.
Yeah. And there's a lot of techniques in katas where it's like Basai Dai, like I've mentioned, and a few other katas. You'll come up, or you'll come up like that, and then you just think you're going to be doing an action with your arms or something like a short punch. But as you step down, you'll be going on somebody's ankle like that.
Exactly, the stomping method.
Yeah, joint kicking, like we said, you can tap it and it'll work. But if you thrust through that kick, bang, it's just going to really damage that joint. Well, it's going to break it, isn't it? It's going to really break it. So all I'm going to do is that, yeah, and push on it. But if I kept my foot on that there, where I don't want to break his leg, but if I were to break his leg, I'd just keep it on it and then stomp into the floor. Like the katas, where you're coming round like Kansetsu Geri, you come round, you get told to bring your foot back to your knee, and then you're stamping down. There's no point in bringing it round and then dropping it down there, because you might miss your target. When you're coming round, you bring it back to the knee, stamp it down. Right, that's Kansetsu Geri in Mill Hill Dojo with Crazy Blind Man and Robert Polecat Johnson. Sensei!